Hello everyone and welcome to another round of the Driven by Speed Formula 1 series. We are racing in round 16 of 24 of the championship, and we are racing at the world famous Silverstone circuit, a track that where all F1 began on May 13th, 1950, about 71 years ago. The former World War II air base that was originated by the Royal Air Force was first built in 1943 until 1946, then was converted to a racetrack in 1950. And this is where all of it began, the birthplace of Formula 1. Of course, it has gone through several different configurations over the years, and a lot of famous corner names that roam around this racetrack, like Abbey, Loop, Farmers Curve, Aintree, Wellington Straight, Brooklands, etc. A lot of those famous corners all on the racetrack. Very significant in a way in the racetrack. We'll get to more on the track a little bit later once we get into qualifying, just waiting on everyone else. In the meantime, we'll go over the championship standings. Let's get that up right now. So currently, right now, after round 15 rounds, currently it is Absolute Unit leading with 340 points, and Tim in second with 264. Can't Do Crap in third with 209. Lucky Rex in fourth with 173. Macy P in fifth with 170. Big Chich in sixth with 162. Kirby Texas in seventh with 161. Botod in eighth with 147. Jack with 146 and ninth. In 10th is Dan the Racer with 135. Lane Everham in 11th with 125. And 12th is False with 114. 13th is Iconic Q with 109, who has been missing quite some time, like Curving Texas, but is back tonight. In 14th is Conehouse with 106. 15th is Vision with 93. Honest Crook in 16th is Honest Crook with 84. Prezzo in 17th with 65. Butler, who has been missing for quite some time as well, with 64. Reedy in 19th with 51, and then JJ rounds it off with 11 points in 20th. Constructor standings, there's a 20-point gap between Alpine and Aston Martin, 454 points for Alpine. Leading the way in the Constructors, second place is Aston Martin with a 434-point gap, 434 points, I should say, sorry. And third is Haas with 336 points. Fourth place is Ferrari with 310. Red Bull in fifth with 277. Williams in sixth with 271. Mercedes in 7th with 227, and McLaren with 211 8th. AlphaTauri in 9th with 148, and rounded off as Alfa Romeo with 138 points in 10th place. So with that out of the way, and I think also, let me look at the race reports as well if we did have any. No, according to this, we did not have any sort of incidents, which is very good news to see. So with that in mind, we can now focus on qualifying. So yeah, there are 17 cars on the grid, as you can see on your screen. You may have noticed one new name there on the screen in that leaderboard, and that is the man in the AlphaTauri, ACW132. I have known this guy for quite some time. He's actually one of the fastest drivers I've ever come across as well. I'm expecting quite a big performance out of him tonight. Normally I don't see him driving a number 15. He usually is in a 49 car number in the AlphaTauri, but no, he's rocking the 15 tonight. But yeah, he's one of the reserves in there tonight. He's representing for Butler, and Kip Kiwi is in the Aston Martin for Tim, who is missing out this week as well. Unfortunate for him, since he was around in Baku last week. It was a good race, though, overall between him and Absolute Unit. But Absolute came out with the win, come up with his 6th win of the season, the most out of anybody so far in the series. With that in mind, we got some drivers on the softs, mediums, and most of them on the soft tire. We'll ride along with ACW and give you a guided tour of the 5.8 kilometer racetrack. 18 turns is how many corners there are, and 2 DRS zones to work with. So there we go, down the Hamilton Straight, up to Abbey, turn 1, which is basically flat out, keep kissing the apex there. I think he might have invalidated there through Farmer's Curve. Yeah, he did invalidate, unfortunately. And we'll keep it on anyway. Through Village, onto the loop, walking up a little bit there on the front left tire. 3rd gear, 4th gear, flat out through Aintree, down to Wellington Straight, opens the DRS. Speedo climbs up to 315 kilometers an hour, braking into Brooklands, and 4th gear to the exit of the corner, into Luffield, 2nd gear, 3rd gear, trying to get some rotation out of the corner there, and now through Woodcut, down the old pitch straight in where Silverstone used to have it for a few years, and through Cops Corner, flats out. You want to try to keep it within the white lines as much as you can, and then through the significant part of the racetrack, Maggots and Beckett's, normally you take it faster through there, but ACW decides otherwise, of course, which is understandable. And then this is the Hangar Straight, which would lead you down into Brooklands, and we got more, or not Brooklands, sorry, into Stowe, but we'll go more into that later, actually. So right now, as you can see, times are already on the board. We already have times in the 127s, with Jack leading with a 127.3, Iconic Q with a 27.4, Kenji Crab with a 27.7, Blocky with a 27.9, Conehouse with a 28.8, Dan the Racer with a 31.5, and Kickbutt Kiwi came across the line there with a 127.6. Let me actually put that map up a little bit bigger. I just realized that. Let's see who else is coming up towards the line now. One of the other Aston Martins, that would be BCP. Oh, that was not BCP. It was somehow false. Anyway, we'll see what he does as he crosses the line. Now there's a Haas behind. That might be Blocky going to the pit lane. Oh no, never mind. I forgot I forgot Blocky always does these like longer laps. Yeah, he's been doing those same soft tires for about 2 laps. And BCP is spun at Abbey, and into the barrier he goes. Stay out there. It's very easy to do so, to have the back end step out at Abbey, if you're not very careful. As Presso has also spun off at, that is Chapel that he spun up, and he's done it again. Get the car rotated again. There is false. Oh no, that was not false. That was his teammate, Absolute Unit. Is he racing tonight? Oh, he's not racing tonight. I don't see his name on the screen. Okay. As ACW goes to the top of the table with a 127 flat. And is about almost 3/10 clear of Jack. Very nice time there from the reserve driver. Huh, so yeah, both championship protagonists are not in the race. Okay. Well, that'll be very interesting to see how that pans out for tonight. Yeah, I thought Absolute Unit said he was racing. Righto. Brady coming up towards Stowe. 5th gear in the middle of the corner. 6th gear on the exit of it. Down towards the Vale Chicane. 2nd gear. 3rd gear at the exit of the Vale Chicane. Through Club. Crossing the line. 28.2 for the Alfa Romeo driver. So other times there was False with a 28.2, Reedy with a 22 as well. Otis Crook with a 28.4, Chichester a 28.5 on the mediums. BCP 28.7, Dan the Racer with a 28.8, and Cuthouse with a 28.8 as well. Pretty much the whole field separate by about 1.8 seconds, currently at least. For the time being. Oh, we got 7 people watching. Good to see that some people are watching on the stream. Welcome along. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. We're about 10.5 minutes into qualifying so far. Left into qualifying. Follow along with the Haas of Blocky Rex, who doesn't seem to be using any battery. No, he does not. And I can see the blinking red lights on the back of the car. Let's see, what about Chich? Is he improving? He's up by nearly 3/10 through the middle sector. Coming up towards Stowe. Braking at 5th gear. Keeping it within the white lines. Up towards Vale Chicane, 3rd gear. Keeping it steady at 3rd, clipping the apex again. Up towards Club. Crossing the line. And he goes into the 127s. Interesting. 127.9 on the medium tires. But he did that with 3 Lapple medium tires. Another thing I've noticed too is ACW has now popped onto the medium tire as well. Even though he did his lap on the soft compound tire. As Bottom, oh, hello. Whoa, there goes Bottom. I was going to mention about, well, he also breaks a braking board in the process. I was going to say how wide he was taking Abby, but then you saw the result of it, and then he spins again. Pretty much doing what Preza was doing earlier. Oh, apparently there's no damage? Oh dear. That's why I'm getting the Discord notifications. Oh dear. I'm guessing we're gonna have to do a lobby reset? Oh, I hope not. And the racer's way down his time. Let's see. What's Rocky Rex up to? He's coming into the pit lane. Kiwi about to start his flying lap in the Aston Martin. Got a little bit of trap. There's yellow flags. That is Vision going slowly laying past one of the Mercs. What was that? Was that Prezzo? Or was that? No, that was Chich. Well, there's Prezzo coming up towards the first sector. He hasn't set a time yet. He did a 27.8 through the first. Hello, Rusker Arm. How you doing? Good to see that you're in the comments. As Prezzo hasn't validated his lap time, going wide at the exit of left field, unfortunately for him. Lane about to get ready for his flying lap. Who would be the closest? Looks like one of the AlphaTauris. And that's on his crook, and there's a Red Bull behind. Oh, hello, that Bottom or Conehouse? That is Conehouse. He's all over the back of the AlphaTauri. Okay, that's a bit of an awkward place to get out of the way. He was trying to go to the pits, but I don't know why he didn't do it at first. He could have just stuck to the inside if he was going to go to the pits. Conehouse crossed the line, goes 9th quickest with a 27.9. Right. Lane has validated his time. Jack about to cross the line soon. He's up by 3/100ths of a second. Up to the line. Goes to back to second with a 127.2. Only improved by nearly a 10th. But it's not enough for pole. See what ACW can do in the AlphaTauri. See how he does the lap. Through Abbey, flats out, very nicely done. Keeping it in the inside curve by Farmer's curve. And hugging the apex as well onto the loop. Now onto the loop. 3rd gear, a bit of a lock up, but keeps the lap steady. Through Aintree, now through onto the Wellington straight. Opens the DRS. Field climbing up to 350 kilometers an hour. Up by 1.5 tenths through the first sector. Through Brooklands and now into left field. 4th and 5th gear on the exit. 6th gear, 7th gear through Woodcut. Onto the old pit straight. He's got a car in front. That's Kickbot Kiwi gain out of the way. Through Cops, flats out, hugging the inside, using the outside curve. A little bit washy there on Cops, but he did it all right. Now through Maggots and Beckett, 7th gear, 6th gear, 5th gear, keeping it steady on the curbs, and onto the DRS zone, onto the Hanger Straight. He's up by just a tenth. He lost about half a tenth through the middle sector. Through Stowe now, 5th gear, 6th gear. Iconic Q now goes to pole, but that might change. Through Vale, walking up a little bit, 2nd gear, 3rd gear, now up to 4th, now through Club, and crossing the line. It's a 127 flat as well for ACW. He gets back to pole, but only by about 8/1000 of a second. Pretty close so far, as I expect around Silverstone, for sure. I feel like turn 1 at Bryn is a lot more difficult in the game compared to previous games. Might just be me. I think it's still the same, to be honest, because in 2020 I've had moments where I lose the back end going flat out through Abbey. It is a very interesting corner to be careful with, obviously. You don't want to take too much of the curve. It will definitely unsettle the car, that's for sure. You want to mainly clip the apex, but clip it enough so it doesn't unsettle it. Dan the Racer up by 1/4 of a tenth, or a little over 1/4 of a tenth, I should say, through the first sector. Coming up towards Cops right now, keeping it flat, steady through 8th gear. Oh, but loses the car as well. And oh, what? I mean, he didn't get damaged from that. What? He should have got damaged from that. He hit the wall face first. Oh, I guess Bono did not turn on damage. Okay, yeah, there's supposed to be damage on, but there isn't. Oh dear. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to do a restart, I'm gonna guess. Yeah, it's definitely off for sure. Yeah, because Dan the Racer should have got wing damage from just hitting the wall. Alright, so we will be doing a restart after qualifying. Right, so that means everyone will be on fresher tires. Yeah, that's what I was saying kind of. I saw Dan the Racer hit the wall going through Cops, and he didn't get any wing damage. So, yeah, clearly I can see that. Anyway, here goes Falls through Maggots and Beckett's. See what time he can do. Through the middle sector, he's down by about 2/10 of a second. As we're now reaching the 2-minute marker qualifying, and that's someone off. That's one of the Williams that is Lane that has gone off at Abbey, and also gets in front of Canty Crab. Luckily, he's on an out lap, so you don't have to worry too much. He's got time to do at least another lap, but those tires probably won't be feeling too great. We'll have to wait and see how that goes for him. Chich is on a lap. I think he'll be the first cars to do it. See how he does it. Down the Wellington straight. See what the clock says. He's up by over 1/10 of a second. One is a little bit wide at Brooklands, and that kind of made him go wide as well at Luffield. Through Woodcut. Down the old pitch straight. And onto Cops. Keeping it flat. Kept in the middle of the corner about 280 kilometers an hour through there. And yellow flag, I don't know what that's for. Oh, that's catching Krabby's. Oh, my goodness me. I don't know, that might have compromised his run. Did he lose time? Yeah, he did. He lost about nearly 1/10 from it, trying to avoid Can't-Do Crap. As we got more yellow flags, that's one of the Alfa Romeos. I think that might be Reedy. No, it's not. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's at the pitch. That's at the pits. My bad. He's just waiting for cars to get out of the way. There's a lot of traffic that he has to cope with there. See, Cantu Craft's about to start a lap. And here comes ACW. He'll be starting his final qualifying lap as we're at 35 seconds left into the qualifying session. He's currently sitting at a 1 minute 27 flat. Blocky improves to a third quickest with a 1:27.1. Vision goes ahead of him with a 27 flat. What has ACW got in the tank in that AlphaTauri? Down the pitch, down the Wellington straight. Opens the DRS, yellow flags for Aston Martin. He's down by 0.2 of a second, according to the first sector. What about Connor Q? Through, looks like the Wellington straight. First sector says he's up by nearly a 1/10. And that is qualifying over. As you see, the clock has reached triple zeros. Jack has unfortunately invalidated his time. He's not going to improve. Kickbutt Kiwi's done for qualifying. What about Cantu Crab? He's up by 0.7 of a second. Will this be an improvement? Oh, but runs a little bit awkwardly through Stowe. Now it's a Vale. Keep it on the inside. Well, he ran a little bit wide there. He missed the apex. Crossing the line now. It's a 1:27.1. He's only going to be 5th quickest so far. ACW is invalidated. What about Iconic Q? He's purple through the middle sector. Can he beat ACW's time of a 1:27 flat? 27 flat. Through Stowe. Now onto the Vale chicane. Hugging the apexes there. Oh, he missed the apex a little bit there at the Vale chicane. Crossing the line. Oh, it's not enough. He's improved only by 0.07. Blocky is invalidated. Everyone else, I think, is finishing up their laps. Conehouse has gone to 9th quickest, 1:27.8. Yeah, Connor Q ran a little bit too wide, and that compromised him a little bit through the Vale chicane. And yeah, he had pole, I think, in the bag, but just missing the apex cost him. So that is qualifying officially over. So we've got a brand new pole sitter, and that is ACW on his DBS debut. Is on pole for this race here at Silverstone. I'll be honest, I thought we were going to see times in maybe the 1:26s, but nah, just in the 1:27s, but still a close qualifying nonetheless. Yeah, the rest of the field separated by just a 1/10 of a second. Or sorry, a second, not a 1/10 of a second. So I am getting my times all mixed up today. From first to about 11th, yeah, about 1 second separating the top 11. So it's ACW, Iconic Q, Vision, Blocky, Cantu Crap, Jack, Big Chich, Kickbutt Kiwi, Conehouse, Honest Crook, Prezzo, False, Greedy, Dan the Racer, BCP, Bodhod, and Lane, who did not even set a qualifying lap. So he'll start from the back of the grid. Right. But we will be doing a restart because of Bodhod putting in the incorrect lobby settings, unfortunately. Because we are running with no damage. Which we are supposed to be doing is running with damage, of course. I guess we'll just wait a little bit until there's a new invite. But yeah, not bad qualifying overall. Oh. So yeah, I guess while we wait, I guess I could give my little overview about what I saw from the race earlier today in real life Formula 1 landscape. As you know, earlier today was the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in the streets of Jeddah. Well, when I say it was in the streets of Jeddah, it wasn't really. It's not really a straight circuit, if you ask me, because the track basically is built off of the beach off the Cornish side of Jeddah. So basically, they built a track near the Red Sea. It was supposedly the fastest recorded F1 circuit with an average speed of about 252 kilometers an hour, which is the fastest street circuit ever recorded on average. But the track was designed by Carsten Tilke, which is Herman Tilke's son, who built the track, which pretty much to me looks like a bended spoon, if you ask me. But anywho, into the race. So yeah, as we know, that it basically is a fight between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen trying to get his very first title ever in his Formula One career. The young rising star from the Netherlands trying to be the youngest driver to win a championship since Sebastian Vettel. Then of course you got Lewis Hamilton fighting for his 8th World Championship. Qualifying was a bit interesting because I remember Verstappen would have got pole position over Hamilton, because if you were watching the lap, Verstappen was going absolutely bonkers through the first couple of sectors. He was up by like 2.5 tenths over Hamilton's time, which was like a 1:27.5. He would have done something like a 1:27.3, maybe even a 1:27.2. The unfortunate thing is he screwed up the final corner, turn 27, and basically he locked up and then he hit the outside barrier, which unfortunately screwed up his lap, and that basically was the end of his qualifying. So he had to start from 3rd on the grid. The first few laps was just pretty much as expected. It was just follow the lead for most of the time. There was a crash by Mick Schumacher in turn 21, I think it was. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you're new to what I'm talking about, Jeddah basically also has 27 corners, which is the most out of any track on the F1 calendar now. It now has more than Singapore. So basically, Schumacher crashed there. There was a red flag, and there was a sequence where the Mercs double stacked, but Bottas held up Verstappen, who was ahead of him, because he didn't want to get the risk of the double stack from Hamilton pitting. So he stayed out, and then he got a lucky red flag, which basically got him to change tires. And, hang on, I'm sorry if I'm trying to look through my Discord here. Okay, nothing new so far. So yeah, basically, there was a red flag that came out. Verstappen was in the lead. He managed to change from his medium tires to the hard tires. And then, pretty much, once they got to the restart, the first restart, it was quite possibly one of the more times I've seen Max got absolutely desperate in racing. The first restart was very chaotic because he got a bad start. Then Verstappen tried to outbrake Hamilton, but he ends up cutting the corner of turn 2, which also led to Verstappen being in the lead. But then Esteban Ocon overtook Lewis from that. But that wasn't the only thing that happened. Perez got clipped by Charles Leclerc, and then his race was done, but that wasn't the only part of that too. George Russell had a bit of a moment where he stopped on track to avoid all that carnage, and then Nikita Mazepin rammed straight in the back of him, which was a really scary incident. Thankfully no one got hurt from it. But yeah, though that bit of the restart was very shocking to watch. And then the second restart, basically Red Bull and Mercedes had a little bit of discussions with Michael Massey. Obviously, the FIA told Red Bull, right, we'll offer you this. We'll give you the option to take the position to start in third because you did illegally overtake Hamilton. So he ended up starting third, so... Oh, great, I need an invite. Yeah, hold on. Thank you, Blocky. They get the dryers, but then they also forget about the commentator. How else will I stream your race? Anywho, might as well keep going with the discussion. So yeah, there was another red flag because of that Carnage Fest. Then Verstappen started in third because of the FIA told him to give the position back to Hamilton. So it'll be Ocon being on pole for the restart, the second restart, then Hamilton, then Verstappen. The restart happens. Max goes to the medium tires rather than the hard tire. But the problem is that I think they were on lap 22 or what to... no, I'm sorry. They were on lap... They were lap 16 or 17 after the restart. And basically, Verstappen decided to go for quite possibly one of the ballsiest moves I've ever seen anyone do at that racetrack so far, which was... He went from third, he goes down the inside at turn 1, made it 3 wide between Hamilton and Ocon, and somehow managed to get to first. And then, basically then after the first lap of the second restart, then Hamilton got past Ocon. Now it's basically the classic battle that we've had all season between Hamilton and Verstappen. Hamilton had really good pace because the Merc has such great straight line speed at sectors 2 and 3 at Saudi Arabia, but the Red Bull had the big advantage through the first sector because of the corners. Now the only thing too, there was a moment, I think 5 or 6 laps later, Hamilton tries to go for a move on Verstappen at turn 1. Verstappen outbrakes himself, makes a mistake, and that basically compromised Hamilton to back out quite a lot. Then another couple laps later, FIA told Red Bull, right, you're going to have to get back the position. Then, of all the moments that would happen that he did not expect, so Verstappen going down the back straight, which was towards the final corner, he slows down. Hamilton come up behind. I don't know if there was miscommunication. He had DRS open. He was going slowly. Then there was a moment where Verstappen put on the brakes. Hamilton runs into the back of him. He clips his front wing. He gets damage on his front wing. And then Verstappen keeps going. And then, honestly, there was a moment where I thought the FIA probably has had one of the worst moments I've ever seen. They tell Verstappen to give back the position. He did at one point, then he got back the position. But then also with that whole thing, he got a 5-second penalty. It's like, okay. And later on in the race, Verstappen's tires were gone. And then Hamilton, I still don't know how he did it with even a damaged front wing. He still managed to pull away, win the race. He even got fastest lap. But then they looked over that incident again with Verstappen and Hamilton when Hamilton ran into the back of him. And they gave out a ruling that he got a 10-second penalty plus 2 penalty points. Now, another thing too is now Verstappen, I think he has either 6 or 7 penalty points now in his super license. So if he keeps going at it, he could be in very big trouble if he keeps driving at that behavior. he's racked up more penalty points so far than he has in points to gain on Hamilton in the championship. But yeah, it was I don't know what to make of Jeddah. It honestly was quite possibly one of the more shocking races I've ever seen in F1. I mean, it really was just ridiculous. And I have mixed feelings about it. Like, I like the idea of it being fast, but I also rather have drivers be safe doing it, because we've had moments where we could have had some bad stuff happen. Like in F2, there was an accident between Tio Porcher and Enzo Fittipaldi, and they were both in a very big accident that resulted in them going into the hospital. I mean, it could have been much worse, really. But yeah, I just don't know what to make of that track. It's just a bit of a crappy Tilke-trome, if I'm honest. It was designed by Karsten Tilke, which is Herman Tilke's son, and that was also his very first racetrack that he's ever architect. So I don't know what came to his head making that track, but I guess it is what it is. Anywho, enough of me just spewing a bunch of stuff. We're on to the race, finally. At least we can get that going. I do apologize for that as well. I hope you guys are still doing good in watching the stream. Hope you guys are at least enjoying a little bit of it so far, even though we've only watched qualifying, and then just listen to me ramble about the race just a little bit. So yeah, we're on to a lobby restart because of Bodod forgetting to put in the correct settings. So basically everyone will start on fresh tires. The top 10 will have to start on the tire they qualified on, so obviously the majority of them will start on the soft compound tire, of course. Weather's still the same, of course, overcast, as usual. I'm not sure if there's any rain involved, but if there is, that could spice up the race a little bit. But of course we'll have to wait and see. Just waiting for the drivers to get ready. And there we go, there's the clock. And we will get underway for the British Grand Prix. Of course, also, if you fail to do so, you have to pit in the first lap. If you do forget to put on the right tire if you're in the top 10, if you don't do that, then you're automatically disqualified. So we'll take a look and see what tire is everyone on. And they're all in soft tires, so they are on all the correct tire. All the top 10 on the softs. Apart from in the bottom, there's Dan the Racer, BCP, Bodod are the only ones on the medium tires. And then Lane Abraham in the back is starting on the soft compound tire. Of course, tire wear is pretty much non-existent around Silverstone. It's pretty much going to be a one-stop strategy. Definitely easier for anyone that's on the soft tire for sure. The medium tires won't feel too great at the start, but they will once they get up to speed a little bit. We'll have 26 laps to go around this 5.8 kilometer racetrack, and we will give you now the rundown of the grid order here at Silverstone. For the British Grand Prix, so ACW, the reserve driver in the AlphaTauri making his debut, is starting on pole position, with Iconic Hugh in second place on his return, Vision in third, and then Rocky Rex in fourth, Can't Do Crap in fifth, Jack in sixth. Yeah, this is the first time in a while since he's actually qualified outside the top 5 as well. Big Chich in 7th, Kickbutt Kiwi in 8th, Conehouse in 9th, Honest Crook in 10th, Prezzo in 11th, Paulson in 12th, Reedy in 13th, Dan the Racer in 14th, VCP in 15th, Baldwin in 16th, and then Lane Everingham rounds off all the rest of the grid. And, oh, lovely. Honest Crook and Conehouse have been disqualified from the formation lap. So their tires will obviously be stone cold once they get the race started. So now ACW will lead the field up to the grid slots. He is a little bit away from Iconic Houston. He'll lose a little bit of tire temperature to stay on the grid for a while. But we've got almost pretty much the rest of the queue coming. Lane will be getting onto his grid slot there, and we will get the red lights to come on. And there's the strategy there. One-stop strategy for the soft tire runners, soft to medium. Paying lap 11 to 13. Here come the lights for the British Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go. It's a tentative start from ACW, but I think Iconic Q had a better start than ACW. As they go to Abbey, he stays ahead and into the lead. From Iconic Q to Cantu Crap, who's under pressure from blocking Rex to Village, and spinning is the Ferrari. He's going into the barrier. He has spun out, and I don't know if there was contact, I think there was more. There's dirt being kicked up from, I think, from Lane. Now they make their way through the Wellington Straight. ACW leads from Iconic Q to blocking Rex. Vision has lost a place. Kickbutt Kiwi's gained a couple of them. He's up to 5th place. Chich right behind in 6th. Jack in 7th, and there's Prezzo. He's gained 3 places off the start. He's going to be under bringing the pressure on his brother as they make their way through Puffs now. 7th gear, trying to keep it steady there. Jack goes a little bit wide. That might be a warning for the Williams. Prezzo trying to go around the outside. He can't find any way through there. He has to stick back, at least for the time being. Don't want to make any moves quite just yet on the opening lap. He's run through the grass. But also note too, when you run through the grass, it won't affect you, that AstroTurf, for some weird reason. Making their way through Stowe now. Apart from that little incident from Cantu Crab, looks like everyone's gone through somewhat just fine, as BCP already has a 3-second penalty. ACW leads the first lap by half a second over Iconic Q. There's Blocky Rex, then Vision, then Kickbutt Kiwi, then Chich, then Orphan Drop, then Conehouse, then Prezzo. So Conehouse has gone ahead of Prezzo. Oh my goodness me! And going wide is Dan the Racer. He's going into the grass, and somehow he's managed to save the car after running wide. Could save from the Haas. Unfortunately, we'll have to compromise BCP there, but he's still losing a bit of the control of the car. Here comes Reedy around the outside. 3 press, he has to back out of that. He didn't want to get tagged up there between those two as they make their way into Brooklands. My goodness me, that was a bit of a chaotic stuff in the rear of the field. Honest Crook has damage, so that's why he's into the pit lane, unfortunately for him. So that explains a little bit of what the shuffling was about there earlier when I was focused on Cantu Crap on the opening lap. These guys are still close to each other. Look at this. Reedy on the inside of Lane, and then Dan the Racer runs into the back of him. And then now make their way to Maggots and Beckett's. You can't go too wide into that court, into the S's. They think wisely though. Try to go back up to the field at least. While I've been concentrating towards the rear. DRS obviously not enabled just yet. And the main thing to the story of this race though is definitely going to be, you're definitely going to be following the car in front. It is very hard to overtake sometimes. It's either you have a setup that's based for straight line speed or a setup that's meant for cornering, depending on how that will suit, as DRS is now enabled. So Iconic Q is now on the back of the Alpha Tower of ACW as they make their way through the loop onto Aintree. He will have the DRS. He doesn't use any battery, wisely so. He's got a full charge, so he's fine. Obviously he's not close enough to do so. Blocky following suit with DRS. He's got Vision behind, and then Kickbutt Kiwi. He's had a pretty good start. Prezzo, unfortunately, suffered some damage as well. He's gone into some sort of incident. So he's down to the rear of the field, unfortunately for him. Both him and Orange Crook will need a safety car to save their races. Oh, my goodness me. Can't do crap on the back of Bonbon, as he's going to get past him as well for 14th place. Prezzo, I think, had another moment somewhere there. Jack's got a 3-second penalty already after 3 laps. Iconic Q with the DRS down towards Stowe. He's mashing now much closer. He goes to the outside, thinks about it, tries to go around the outside. ACW forces him off. Good defensive driving there from ACW. It was good, it was clean. Very nice driving indeed, but he holds on for now in the lead. Lucky just sitting there, just waiting for anything to happen. Right behind. Too happy they come onto the village. Yellow flags. That is a Williams, and that is Jack. That is spun off at Abbey. He's getting the car going again. I don't know if he's got any damage. I don't think he has, because he was in the gravel trap, so he might have been lucky not getting any sort of damage, but he's fallen back to 15th, unfortunately for him. And yeah, there he goes speeding again. He's got very hot tires. That explains why he spun out at the loop. That's why there was yellow flags around that area. It was start from 6th down to 15th place. Prezzo pits again. Well, he's supposed to have got some more damage. He might be at risk of being lapped here soon. Yeah, the frustrating thing is when you're in this sort of train, you get compromised by all this dirty air. Like, you get the DRS, you get close, but not close enough to get past the car in front of you. But the worst bit of it is Maggots and Beckett's. That's where the worst of the dirty air is. This Cantu Crab's getting past Greedy for 11th place. You lose about 3 or 4 tenths when you're going through Maggots and Beckett's, but then you gain all that time back based off the power of DRS. Oh, spinning! That's ACW! He has spun it at loop! Or the entry of loop. He must have had too much throttle on the exit of village. And now he's down to 7th place. The man that was on pole is down to 7th. And he spun again, I think. Is that it? No, that's someone else. I think that's his teammate. Or was that? No, it was a Red Bull. That's spot on. Ah, sorry, I got the colors confused. No, it was Bono that spun at Aintree. Oh, that's so unfortunate for ACW. He was in the lead and now he's lost it completely. He's going to have to gain all that ground back up. Lucky is now on the back of Iconic Q. And there's Vision behind him as well. Lucky's in the slipstream using DRS. He's gain, not close enough to get past the Alfa Romeo. He also had to back out a little bit there. He got compromised by the dirty air on the exit of Stowe. Explains how Iconic Q gained about a couple of tenths through there. There's Vision behind, Kickbutt Kiwi, Chidge, Conehouse, all within pretty much a second. As, oh hello, what's going on? That's Catch a Crab! He spun out of Vale! Oh dearie me. So he must have clipped the curb, I assume. And he was gaining some ground in the midfield. He's lost a little bit, I think. Or maybe I'm thinking the other Ferrari, I don't know. But no, he's down to 11. He's lost a couple of places. Anyhow, there's Blocky Rex, still behind Iconic. Yeah. And there's Vision, Kickbutt Kiwi, and Chidge. They're all pretty much close to one another. Now, what will happen here once they get to the pits, the pit window? Of course, the undercut, I should say, is pretty powerful around here at Silverstone. I wouldn't be surprised if any of these drivers try to do that. And that is a Mercedes of Prezzo that has spun off at Cops. He's into the barrier and has a missing end plate. Unfortunately there for him. Blocky getting close, not close enough to get past the Alfa Romeo. Has to hold back just a little bit. Konas right now sitting alone in 6th place, 2.1 seconds behind. Lane gets past BCP into Stowe. Can't do crap trying to get past BCP. Can't get past him there. Tries to go through into Vale chicane. He'll have the inside, but BCP while the inside line at the second part of the Vale chicane through Club. He holds on at least for the time being, but has a little bit of a slow exit. Lane, who started from the last place, is up to 9th, and more yellow flags. And, oh, hello. There's dirt. That's Prezzo. He's out. Oh, he's in the pits. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness me. That is Can't Do Crap and BCP making contact. Yeah, Prezzo's just had enough, unfortunately. Both of them Gavin DRS. BCP will have the inside into Brooklands. Tries to have the inside line. Oh, they made contact and Can't Do Crap is spun again. He is spun. They both made contact at Brooklands. He's dropped down to 13th because of the contact. Unfortunately, therefore, Can't Do Crap. Trying to work back up after spinning out earlier. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like a great race for him. Blocky, meanwhile, has gone past, but he will get passed again by Iconic Q. He does. He might lose another place to Division. Down to Stowe. The old songs for 2nd place, but now Blocky was ahead at one point while I was focusing on that battle in the rear of the field. Lap 8 of 26 here at Silverstone. Most of the clouds have cleared up, so yeah, there will be no rain, of course, in the racetrack. So good to see at least, because sometimes when the rain around Silverstone is very atrocious to watch, at least from a commentator's perspective. And Jack has left the session. That's not great news indeed. Hopefully they can get back in. Blocky trying to get past Iconic Q, not close enough. Can't Do Crap is pitting. He must have got damaged from when he clipped BCP. And what time is it? He's gone the hard, so he'll make it to the end, but he won't have pace, obviously, to get through. Blocky's kind of fallen back a little bit. He's about half a second behind. But he's still within DRS range. Yeah, like, see how you can see how much time he loses there. Because of all that dirty air, he loses about like 2 to 3 tenths. And then watch what happens at the end of Stowe. He gains it all back because of the power of DRS. Vision trying to go around the inside. Can't make him move stick there through Stowe. Holds back at least for the time being. Blocky has to stay within DRS, or otherwise he could be done for from the guys behind. And Blocky's tires might not be feeling too great at this point, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. Through the loop, onto Aintree, onto the Wellington straight. Yellow flags, that is Reedy, he's crashed out at Club. Collaborator safety car, it is a safety car. He has crashed out at Club. There's his car there, you can see it. Stuck on the inside barrier of the final turn. My educated guess is that he must have hit the inside curb and the car just went around. Oh, I've made that mistake too before. It's definitely a heartbreaking thing to deal with. But yeah, that's unfortunately the end of his race, and Jack has got back in the session. That's also why the intervals have disappeared. So they will reappear once pretty much everything gets all settled. So yeah, so much for an undercut chance. So that means everyone is going to come into the pits. My goodness, look at the penalties behind from below the top 6. Let me look at the penalty situations. 3 seconds for everyone else that's below ACW, apart from Bottom and Jack, who have 6 seconds with the penalties. And there goes Iconic Q into the pits, same with Blocky. Oh, and oh, hello. Did he just get damage from that? He did! 5-second penalty with iconic Q. For iconic Q, he's got a 5-second penalty. Blocky must have clipped the back of him, because I saw an end plate fly off. Well, let's look at the change. Yeah, he's got to change his front wing. That means Blocky's going to lose at least a few spots because of that. And out he goes. He goes down to 5th. Iconic Q stays in the lead. Or who will be the lead now? I think it will be Dan the Racer. He does. Oh, just. He just beats him out of the pit, or not. I don't know. I thought Dan the Racer beat him out of the pits. I guess the game thought otherwise. But anyway, Iconic Q is in the lead with the man has. Oh, he runs in the back of him. He runs into the back of the car. And Iconic Q has now got another penalty because of that BS. Right. So, one horse runs into the back of Iconic Q, which was Blocky Rex going into the pits. And then Dan the Racer runs into the back of him during the safety car. Lovely. I'm sure they'll obviously get that removed. I'm surprised Dan the Racer didn't go in pits. I mean, he could have just put soft tires. You know, you can. What's amazing is that you can go to the end. Really, the tire wear is not really existent around here, which is which is surprising to me. Because I know in real life it's pretty bad around here, at least from the best of my knowledge. But yeah. So Iconic Q's now got penalties. Vision also got a penalty as well for something. He's got a 5-second penalty as well. What was that one for? Hold on. Let me look at this. Oh, scroll down. For speed in the pit lane. Okay. That's fair enough. Blocky got a 5-second penalty for the collision. But so did Iconic. Alright. And into the pits goes Dan the Racer. That's very wise to do so. He knows he's not really part of that fight if he doesn't pit, so it's wise to come in. So what is he going to go on to? It is hard tires. 5-second penalty being served. What is going on here? Oh, and Jack's got a missing front wing. What? That's not him controlling, I don't think, is it? No, surely isn't. No, it's not. His car's pulling over. He's retired from the session. Right, so both President brothers are out. Jack got a 5-second penalty for a collision with ACW. ACW is down to 11th place. So he's lost out massively. Well, looked promising at the start for him in terms of his debut. Unfortunately, not been the case for ACW today. Yeah, ACW, sorry. Silverstone can be a bit of a weird track in terms of that, in terms of luck and whatnot. Right, so Iconic Q is in the lead. Then it's Vision, the kick-cut Kiwi, who doesn't have a penalty. Then Chich, who also doesn't have a penalty. Then Lucky, then Falls, then Conehouse, then Lane, then BCP, then Bonard. That is your top 10 at the moment. What tires was everyone on? Medium tires, hard tires for BCP, Bonard's on the softs. Safety car is in this lap. So we just wait for the Aston Martin safety car to come in. So we're left with 14 cars on the grid. And we'll get back into green flag racing once we get going again. Just wait on Iconic Q's signal to do so. I'm gonna guess he's gonna wait until club to go. He's going now. He's going now. We're back on the green flag racing once again here at Silverstone. McConaughey lead by just half a second. Didn't really catch Vision napping too much. There's Kickpot Kiwi, then Chich, and oh hello. There's Bono going down the inside. While BCB tries to brake later, but doesn't put up much of a fight there. Bono gets through into 9th place. Goes the Red Bull. Vision's gone closer now to the back of Iconic Q. So now make their way through left field. DRS is not enabled yet. That will be enabled on lap 14 of the race. So pretty much just all doing it the old-fashioned way right now. Through Cops, and now on to Maggots and Beckett's. Hanging on. He's actually using a little bit of his battery, trying to get the slipstream of the Alfa Romeo. Trying to get closer, obviously not close enough to do anything. And Bono now getting past Lane, around the outside into Stowe. And he is through into 8th place. Goes Bono now, he just needs to focus on getting out past his teammate. But Bono has the tire advantage on the soft compound tire. He should be able to make it to the end of the race. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. He should be able to make it by 15 laps. And there goes ACW past Lane for 9th place. The push is a little bit wide at the loop, or not the loop, yeah, the loop, sorry. I got the corners mixed up. Meanwhile, up ahead, Vision still on the back of Iconic Q, making their way through the left field. And oh my goodness me, I thought that Iconic Q was going to go a little bit too wide there at one point, it looked like it. Through left field. Now onto Cops, and now onto Maggots and Beckett's once again. Right, keeping within touching distance of the Alfa Romeo, only by just under a 10th and a half, I think that's 2 tenths, because he lost a little. Oh wow, that's a lot of cutting there from Iconic Q. I'm gonna guess that's gonna be a warning for sure, as BCB's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Through Stowe now. And now onto Vale. Pretty much the gap between the top 6 is just roughly about maybe 1.5 seconds. Something like that. Yeah, 2 seconds actually. ACW gets the fastest lap of the race at 1:29.6. Currently sitting in 9th place. DRS is now enabled. And Vision will be closing in on that Alfa Romeo a little bit more. Goes a little bit sideways on the exit. Has a power DRS though to close in on the Alfa Romeo. Obviously not close enough, and that's yellow flags. That is for BCP, who has spun around at loop. Gets the car going again. Not sure if he got tagged in a bit of incident or if the tires were just not up to temperature. But he's fallen down to the bottom of the order. Through Cop's corner. It's a flat out corner of the racetrack. Onto Maggots and Beckett's. Vision is much closer now. He's literally on the back of the gearbox of the Alfa Romeo, but he has taken a little bit of awkward lines through there. But he's going to use overtake. He's going to slingshot past the Alfa Romeo. He goes into the lead of the race. Vision now leads the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone. Now it's pretty much flipping the script here. Vision now will be pretty much the leader to follow. He sets the fastest lap of 29.4. Konas gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. ACW responds back with that with the fastest lap of his own. So Iconic Q now will get the DRS. Oh, but runs wide his vision. That camera angle showed he was a little bit wide. Here comes Kickback Kiwi. Down the inside of the Alfa Romeo into Brooklyn's. Is he going to try to get through? Down the inside. He squeezes Iconic Q off. Oh, they make contact, more contact between the Aston Martin and the Alfa Romeo. Thankfully, though, they're both fine. They're both okay, at least for the time being. Yeah, Iconic Q was shoved wide, though, by Kickback Kiwi. At least, but it was just hard racing, really. Nothing too malicious, I could say. Now getting through Maggots and Beckett. Iconic Q will get the DRS again to try to get past the Ferrari ahead. Kickback Kiwi will have the same, but he's not in the slipstream of the Alfa Romeo. Iconic Q trying to get close, not close enough. Through Stowe. As it stands at the moment, it could be advantage to Iconic Q, or not Iconic Q, it could be advantage to Kickback Kiwi because he is on a penalty. Could be in line to win the race as long as he doesn't make any mistakes and gets a penalty. Through Abbey, now through Farmer's Curve, onto the loop. Beginning lap 16 of 26 here at Silverstone. Iconic Q seems to be better than Vision through the first sector, but then Vision seems to gain more time through the middle sector, I'd say. Let's have a look. Through Brooklyn's onto Luffield. Hanging on to the back of the Ferrari. Gets a very good exit though, Vision does, on the exit of Luffield. Through Pop's corner. Has a little bit of a lift there, you can hear it from the engine note, as Lane gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Vision actually had a bit of a shocking run through there. He's lost a little bit of time. Now through Maggots and Beckett's, he will get the time back because of the dirty air. Then Iconic Q will gain the time back because of DRS. Through the hangar straight. That's actually a nice camera angle there, by the way. I like that. Meanwhile, behind, ACW has gone past False for 6th place. So now he's going to try to close in on Blocky Rex and see if he can hang on to the back of that DRS train that's ahead of him. Showing some pretty decent pace so far. The AlphaTauri, as clearly shows, as setting another fastest lap, being his time by 0.3 of a second. Almost everyone showing good, respectable pace at the moment. Well, apart from some incidents, but other than that, has been some pretty good racing, I'd say. At least better than what we saw earlier this morning. Through Brooklands. Vision, Iconic Q, Kickback Kiwi. That is your top 3. Then it's Chich. Blocky, though, has lost a little bit of time to Chich, but he's gaining that back because he is getting closer to the cars in front. As long as he doesn't lose DRS, he's still fine. Once you're out DRS range, you're a bit of a sitting duck. And Chich didn't need that. He's got a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Iconic Q not using any battery, but Vision has used up his battery. You can see the flashing light at the back of the car. He's going to try to go around the outside. Vision covers that off. Yeah, you can see the flashing light at the back of the Ferrari there. He almost runs into the back of the Ferrari going through Vale. Thankfully, he doesn't get any damage from it. Bardo gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Now on to lap 18 of 26 here at Silverstone. Iconic Q! That's a bit of a moment. He lost it a little bit there through Abbey, but he managed to save it somehow. It was a good save. It's 2 good saves I've seen so far. Him and Dan the Racer had a bit of a moment, but saved the car somehow throughout the race. He's got, well, let's see. Let me look at the battery. Oh, no, wrong graphics. He's got 64%. Vision has 26. Obviously, he used that by getting past Iconic Q. Yellow flags, that is BCP again. Spinning out at the same corner at the loop. And up in the greatest time for the Aston Martin driver. They're back into the Beckett's. Ooh, that was a bit of a short shift, I'd say, from Iconic. Vision is now out of battery. Here comes Iconic Q down the inside, not close enough to get past the Ferrari. Yeah, from him using the ERS to get past him, yes. Gave Iconic Q a little bit of edge. He wants to basically play the long game, which is what Iconic Q is trying to do. Stick behind the car in front, use him as a drag to get tow, and pretty much to save a battery as much as you possibly can. It's actually a pretty smart tactic as well. You can use that until you get to the final couple of laps of the race, then you can use up all that battery that you have saved and just try to get past the car in front of you to win the race. Vision runs, oh, he runs a little bit wide there, as you can see out of left field. Might be feeling a little bit of pressure from the Alfa Romeo. Making his way through Cops. Vision runs wide. Gets back onto the racetrack. Not sure that he got a warning for that. I'm gonna guess he did. Through Maggots and Beckett's. Onto Chapel and onto the hangar straight. Using the slipstream of the Ferrari, he's run out of battery, as you can see. He's getting closer. Round the outside goes the Alfa Romeo. Round the outside. Vision has a little bit of a moment there. He's lost out to Iconic Q, and now he's dropped down 3 places because of that. He had a bit of a mistake, and that's cost him. So now Kickbutt Kiwi is in line to be behind Iconic Q, as they now begin lap 20 of 26. Chich is behind, then is Vision, and on the back, look at that, there's ACW. He has recovered from being at the back of the field outside the top 10 to now be in this DRS train. He's now within just about a second. Here comes ACW to the inside of Vision, trying to get past him into Brooklyn's. Now he'll try around the outside of left field. Vision will have the inside line. He'll try to cover him off, and he does so. Nicely done there from the Ferrari. Good defensive driving. Now on to Cops. Everyone keeping it in line. Through Maggots and Beckett's. But Kiwi trying to hang on. Chich is now getting closer to that Aston Martin. He'll have the DRS as well, but I think, does he have enough straight line speed? No, he does not. He was a lot closer than what I thought. Through Club and now onto the Hamilton straight. And now onto Abbey through Farmer's Curve. Lap 21 of 26. ACW gets past Vision into 4th place. AlphaTauri driver's looking pretty mighty so far in that pace. And oh, Big Chich almost goes into the back of the Aston Martin there. Nice little overshot there. I love that overshot of the race circuit there. Very nicely done. Kind of loves. I know Codemasters does not make the greatest games. Well, when it comes to F1 at least. But they do get some great shots, like camera shots at least. On certain racetracks. I will give them credit for that. Okay, Fuck Kiwi gets a DRS. Iconic Kiwi is out of battery, so he's going to get closer, closer, closer. Now go try around the outside, not close enough to get past the Alfa Romeo. He'll hold back at least for the time being. He's using up the resources. And oh, around the outside goes Chich. Excuse me. Around the outside goes Chich. Down the inside to the club. It's spinning! It's Chich! It's a club! I think the two make contact! Oh my goodness me! That was shocking! Oh, that was shockingly bad. And a drive-through penalty for Conehouse. Oh, not Conehouse, for Chich. For colliding with Conehouse. He is out of the race. No safety car. Which is ironic. Oh, that was a bit of a shocking rejoin, I'd say. Unless there was no control of the car, but he was just onto the racing line. There was nothing Conehouse could do. It was literally a passenger. Oh, dearie me. I don't know if there was contact between Kickbutt and Chich from the camera angle I had. But unfortunately for him, Chich has a drive-through penalty. ACW, meanwhile, has gone past vision. And now he's climbing on the back of Kickbutt Kiwi. Yeah, it did suck. I saw that. I couldn't tell exactly who was at fault between Kickbutt and Chich Conehouse. But yeah, very unfortunate to be in the crossfire. I think that was a bit of a shocking rejoin, if I'm honest, but of course we'll have to wait and see. But I don't know if it was a case of maybe, and Chich is retired. He's called it quits, unfortunately. I just don't know if he maybe couldn't control it and then go on the racing line, or he just wasn't like aware of his surroundings. And here comes ACW around the outside of Kickbutt Kiwi, not close enough to do anything. We're on lap 23 of 26, sector 1 yellow flag. That's for Chich being in the pit lane, of course. Two cops and running wide there. That is the Ferrari Vision. ACW looking very racy indeed in that AlphaTauri. On the back of the Aston Martin and the Alfa Romeo. They both have DRS. Iconic Q absolutely weaving his way through, trying to break the slipstream. Yeah, I think it was very hard to tell. Oh, hello, that was contact. Oh, I saw the hand gesture there from the driver from Kickbutt Kiwi. ACW tried to get around the outside, but couldn't. The two reserve drivers flying in and out now. I mean, I kind of thought it was a bit of a shocking rejoin, but I don't know. There's also some things I kind of noticed while all that stuff was going on. Cantu Crab is down to 6th, and then Blocky's down to 7th. He's lost out quite a bit. ACW. Oh, iconic Q. And around the outside goes ACW. Around Brooklyn. He's going to try the inside of Luckfield. Around the inside of the Aston Martin. Side by side. Ooh, they're inches apart. But he's through. Look at the overspeed that ACW has got. My goodness me. You can see how much speed he was carrying from all that slipstream. He must have a lot of straight line speed compared to everyone else. My goodness. He will get the DRS. And Iconic Q just weaving about. That looks very questionable to me. I mean, you can try to break out a slipstream, but you can't weave while you're in combat. So if anyone reports that, that might be somewhat under investigation. You're not allowed to weave like that. You can't just weave like that to break out of the slipstream. You have to stay in one position or one line, whether it's the racing line or defending. Yeah. Anyway, 2 more laps to go. course, Iconic Q does have 10 seconds of penalties, but he should be able to get that removed. I think that's what he's got, 10 seconds, right? No, 16 seconds. My goodness. What the heck have you been up to there? My goodness me. 16 seconds with the penalties. So yeah, pretty much if you're ACW, you just, all you can do is just sit in the back of the Alpha and you're pretty much good. But I'm sure he wants to win this on track. And Iconic Q wants very wide through Cops. He's definitely feeling the pressure of the AlphaTauri driver. Through Maggots and Beckett they go. Fourth gear, fifth gear, sixth gear. He uses DRS, no battery for Iconic Q. Here comes ACW, going to the left side, and is he gonna take the lead? He does take the lead. Back, he should be able to get the lead back. He does, he's back into the lead. Goes ACW with 2 laps to go. Well, soon to be the final lap here at the British Grand Prix. And there goes ACW. And what is going on here? False and catching crap. Oh, hell, what have you two been up to? Goodness me. Those two having a bit of a scrap. But we got to keep our eyes on the top 4. See if anything does happen. ACW right now up by at least 0.6 of a second. Iconic Q will get the DRS, but he's got 16 seconds with the penalty, so there'll definitely be a lot of changes in the order soon. Through left field, onto Brooklands. Oh, very close indeed. Kickback was almost on the back of that Alfa Romeo. Through Cops for the final time. Onto Maggots and Beckett's. All these cars are out of batteries. You can see the blinking red lights on the back of the cars. I don't think that will matter though. But we'll see what happens. Iconic has DRS. But he's not close enough, I don't think, to get past the AlphaTauri. Stays behind. Through stuff for the final time. Only 3 more corners left for ACW to take the win here at the British Grand Prix. 2 more corners through Club for the final time. ACW takes the checker flag, wins the British Grand Prix. Kickbutt Kiwi will come home in 2nd place. It's a 1-2 for the reserve drivers, and ACW taking the win on his debut. A great drive from the AlphaTauri driver. Vision finishes in 3rd. False in 4th place, his highest position, I'd say, in this series. Great race for him. Iconic Q will finish in 5th. I'm sure there'll be some penalties removed though, because he had 16 seconds, but maybe there's some that'll stay. Catchy Crap at 6th, like Honest Crook in 7th, Barthard in 8th place. Blocky, unfortunately for him, who was in the top 5 earlier, will have to settle for 9th place. Lane finishes at 10th, after starting from 17th, finishes at 10th on the positions. Dan the Racer in 11th, and VCP will finish it off. Well, yeah, not a bad race overall. Yeah, ACW gained the win. And let me see. In terms of how many different race winners we've got. We got Absolute Unit, Chich, Canty Crop, Q, Tim. So that's, and Kirby. So that's now 7 different race winners. Driver of the day goes to False. We'll have to see how many positions he gained over the course of the race. But on to the podium celebrations. And there's your man right there, ACW, taking his first victory here in DBS. A good recovery drive after spinning out in the opening laps. Was in the back of the field earlier and recovered to finish back on the top of to finish on the top of the podium. Kickbutt Kiwi had a solid race, finishing in 2nd place, and then Vision, that's another podium at least for him. I think that would be podium number 2 for Vision. So yeah, there's your unofficial results. ACW gained the win and fastest lap in the race. Kickback Kiwi in second place, Vision in third, False in fourth place, Arcana Q in fifth, Cantu Craft in sixth, Honest Crook in seventh, Baldheart in eighth, Blocky in ninth, Plane in 10th, Dan the Race in 11th, BCP in 12th, Big Chich in 13th, Conehouse in 14th, Jack in 15th, Greedy in 16th, and Prezzo rounding off. Not a bad way to start out the month of December. Not a bad way to start it off. But yeah, one way to start off at a historic racetrack at Silverstone. Guess doesn't seem that I'm moving on to another screen. Alright, well, normally I'd be going to the showroom to show off the winning car, but doesn't seem the case. But yeah, we've got 2 more races till the Christmas break. The next one is going to be a circuit we have never raced before in this in F1. Well, at least I haven't. We are racing at Imola for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, so that'll be a very interesting race to see how that'll be. I'm sure some drivers will be very keen to see how they'll pan out in the race. I have yet to even race there, so yeah, so it'll be my first time as a commentator watching the race. Of course, Imola, very historic, fan favorite racetrack, but it's had some highs and also unfortunately has had some lows in its past. And then after that, before the break, the final race before the break, will be Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix. So, hopefully you guys will tune in next week for Imola for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Should be a good classic, I'd say. And until then, my name is Katie1997, the commentator and voice of DBS. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the stream, be sure to give it a like now and subscribe to Driven by Speed. And take care and have a great rest of your night. Goodbye.